Hands together as we welcome.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay. Are we happy to be here? If we are happy, please let's shout small. You know, anytime you come to the presence of God, be happy. Even if you are not happy, fake it. I mean, I don't know how people survive in where they are not happy, but I mean, if you are happy in a club, when you come to the house of God, you should be happy. Is that okay? Even if you don't like it, fake it. It's still okay. I mean, sitting there, I was just, it seems you neglected me now. Okay. The place looked quiet. Sitting there, I was just listening to so much, and I was really challenged. And I think Amy has not finished. Amy was vibrating so hard, I almost got scared. You know, I called him Emia because I think there's almost nobody who doesn't know Lafia. This one know everybody. So anything he says is true. You know, he was saying that it's a place where they are selling. I've never had that one. That's the first time hearing it. Wow. I mean, I can buy some angels. It will help me. If it takes money to buy them and they will do their work, I think it's worth it. Please help me appreciate Mama in the house. Help me appreciate Mama. Minister, just thank you so much for thinking of such a network. You know, it's really not a small tax. And also help me appreciate, I don't know where Ambassador is. Please help me appreciate Ambassador, Pastor Joe Geladima. He's a strong warlord in the land. I mean, he has been laboring for so long a time. And please help me appreciate Didas Carlos. Mommy Silas came, all the ministers, Lillian. I'm meeting Kelvin today for the first time. Edison, I've met him before. Of course, I know Amy. Lioness, thank you so much. Ambassador Peace. Peace now, she's an ambassador too. And all the other, thank you so much for coming. I believe that you've been blessed so far. Let me see our. Go with me to the book of. Am I safe? Okay. Matthew chapter 16. Matthew chapter 16. I want to start from verse 23. Matthew chapter 16 from verse 23. The theme here is the call and his caller. I think they have said so much in line with that already. But let me see how I can just add a little bit more. The call and the caller. And as you know, the time constraint is serious. The idea is to be able to pick, even if it's just a word, from every session. The Bible speaking said, then Jesus, he turned and said unto Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art at an offense unto me, for thou servest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. He now said, what is a man profit if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? What shall a man give in exchange for his soul? Well, I was marveled by this scripture because the first question I had there was, at what point in time did Peter become Satan? Because he actually spoke directly to Peter and called him Satan. It is not really so much easy for Peter at a point where the person he looked up to turn to him and call him a Satan. There were better names Jesus could have referred to him to. At that point in time, just because of his misalignment at that moment, I don't think that transformation was so quick enough to give him the status of a Satan. But Jesus looked upon Peter and called him Satan, and he said, you bring an offense unto me. Looking at you is an offense. Your utterances is offensive. Get thee behind me. And I thought Jesus was very serious about the get thee behind me. I thought Jesus will never relate with him again because he has become Satan. But afterward, he was still interested to make him the chief cornerstone. So what was the transformation that happened there, and how all of a sudden Peter now became a different thing again? And I realized, please help appreciate Ambassador. Suddenly, Jesus called Peter Satan. He now later on still walked with him. But the challenge that I was seeing there was simply that there was something that he referred to as a burden to him, because the reason why he called him that was because he said he did not savor the things that be of God. That means at any point in time, a man can yield to the devil and give utterances to the devil. To him, the utterances that came out from Peter as of that time warrant him that designation. That means there are many people in our life that will call them Satan at different times. And the reason why that was possible was because he came to a point where he doesn't have a taste of God. The savor of God, the taste of God, what makes God God was what was smeared upon Peter that made him different from the others. And simply because that was lost at that moment, he began to perceive the savor of Satan. And he began to perceive the things that be unto men, and that became a challenge. And at that very moment, Jesus did not even wait for any transformation. He just referred to him as Satan. And the reason why he went that fast was because he doesn't want to permit what the apostles permit with a woman that was moving together with them and prophesying in the name of the Lord. Because a time is going to come, if he doesn't let Peter know that Satan speaks through you, Peter may not know. And it's possible for him to be with that designation at carrying that savor of Satan for a while. So it's possible for Peter to be giving utterances to the kingdom of darkness and still be walking with Jesus. It's very possible. And because Jesus knew that he has to conduct a deliverance service immediately by addressing him as Satan and letting Satan leave him. And immediately when Satan knew that he knew, Jesus knew that he was among their midst, he left by default. And Peter was restored. One thing that I want to point to us here is the call and the caller speak to me basically about focusing on who has called you. Because at any point in time, you can deviate from the center focus. Amia was saying something very profound. Whether we like it or not, in this matter of the calling of God, there is every chance for you to compromise, to derail, to once upon a time become anointed, and also find. And when you are pressed beyond measure, you will begin to tilt the scriptures to suit what you want. It's very possible. There is every chance for you to look at scriptures and make it speak anything you want. That may not preach Christ, but to preach yourself. There is possible for you to be able to create a situation from scriptures that is going to take men to hell. It's very possible. Very, very possible. And that is the reason why we must be able to focus on who And because of that, anytime that you deviate from who has called you, it means that you have already misaligned yourself. You are out of alignment. What you have to do is to fine-tune yourself back again. If not, at that very moment, you begin to speak as Satan. And it's not going to take time. When you begin to speak as such, the challenge there is, as Jesus said, you automatically come to a point where you begin to lose your soul. Another thing that baffles me here is, how is it possible for a man to gain the whole world? Can we be sincere to ourselves that there is anybody that has been able to gain the whole world? Not the whole Lafia, not the whole Africa. The whole world. When you speak about the world, basic geography will let you understand that you have to go beyond the earth. Is that true? Because it's the expanse of anything that man can think and covers. The world always expands itself. Cosmos is not really something that can be defined by planetary system. In fact, you can expand from the earth. Your whole world, your own world can be here alone. Another person's world can be the entire of Lafia. Another person can be beyond. Another person can go beyond the whole entire planet system of the earth. Another can expand more. So Jesus was saying, even if a man tried to gain the whole world, it's a problem. But the sincere truth is that when you look at advancement in technology, what do you think they are trying to do? They are trying to find a way to escape from the earth and create another world. That's true. Everything you see, whether from the metaverse or you see from what people like Elon leave the earth system, is because they are trying to gain another world. Me and you know that in scriptures we agree that God is going to destroy the earth. Is that not true? The heaven and the earth will pass away. Scientists don't have a problem with that because they know the earth is just one of the planets. That means when God is destroying the earth, they will jackpot to another planet system. So you are the one that is thinking about rapture. Elon Musk knows that he will go to another planet. And they have created technology so well that they can escape what. So they live in sin. They don't care. So they will sin very well, so that in the days when the trumpet, as the angel is about to sound the trumpet, they will just ignite their rocket Falcon 9 and it will leave this solar system and go to. So they can watch you being raptured and you are leaving the earth. I get in the point now. So, but the Bible said, what is it even possible that you gain this whole world? So you gain the Pluto, you get the Jupiter, you get the Mars. When you are done, you still lose your soul. So the problem is not that Elon Musk cannot leave the earth and go to another planet. But if he leave the earth and go to another planet, in the day the earth is raptured, him too will be raptured in that planet. Because he was a being created on the earth. So his existence is earthbound. So it doesn't matter the technology that he requires for him to leave the earth. In the day the earth is summed up, he will just discover that he is in Mars or Pluto and is not existing again. I get my point now. So the Bible says it's possible for you to gain the whole world and still lose your soul. Why? Because the technology of the recovery of the souls of men was only hinged upon the earth system. So even in heaven, angels don't need to be born again because they don't need it. You understand? Look at what he did. Adam was a prototype that was not supposed to be corrupted. And if not because Adam was corrupted, if there was a way that God could have done it, Jesus would need to be born. But because devil went after Adam and he corrupted him, we knew that he cannot survive again. So that's the same thing that he was trying to do with Peter, because he knew that this was the only prototype that God has already built. So Jesus said, follow me and I will make you fishers of men. Mind you, he was the first that was seen. And because of that, he was the one that actually had the heart posture to be able to carry that with God intended. So the calling begins with what? Follow me and I will make you. At any point in time that you lose track of the following, you just know you are dead already. And that is why we must be able to understand we don't have to lose track of the calling. And let me tell you, if anything fake exists, it's because the original is there. But one thing that I know is that what you think may be a shortcut is actually a long cut in disguise. In the book of Romans chapter 8 from 30, the Bible speaking says, moreover, whom he did predestine, them also he called. And whom he called, them also he justified. And whom he justified, them also he glorified. Whether you like it or not, there is a process, a protocol to which God enlists men into the things he intends to do. And whether you like it or not, you cannot be too wise, too civilized, too innovative to be able to create another pathway. Everyone that you see that walk with God did not happen suddenly. You need to be able to understand that. And because of that nature, anytime you find yourself in the pool and there was an encounter, there was an hunger, there was a desperation that begin to walk in your life, you must be able to find out, okay, where is the point and the purpose of the predestination? Then you go back to find out what do I require to do for me to be justified? Then you cannot demand for glorification. Because Jesus Christ came to a point before he cried, glorify me with the same glory as I have with the Father. But he did not make that prayer until he has gone through justification and he understands his predestination. Do you know your predestination in keeping to the ordination of the caller? And by the time you know the predestination, you cannot understand what is required for your justification. Then you advance to glorification. Because everybody is designed for glory. Because the endless expectation of creation itself is waiting for manifestation of glory. But that glory can never be manifest until God justify. And if God did not see it need to justify, you cannot justify yourself. You can't call yourself. You can't justify yourself. You can't even glorify yourself. So the apostles were in the process of justification that they might come to glorification. And when the Satan saw it, he knew that if I don't truncate this thing now, I may never have a chance again. And many of you may not know why you went through the pathway you went through your life for so long a time. God has a reason why he allowed you. So that sometimes the impact upon your soul bring you to a point where you have come to the end of yourself. At that point, God can work on you. Because everybody that God ever called has no option again. I have never seen a man that God called that had options. See, let me tell you. They may tell you they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that, but it seems as though they were failing in what they are doing. You may be in a class, you are angry being in that lecture. You just know you are just there. But you knew the calling of God was what was drawing you deeper. And let me tell you, you can never succeed outside of what God has called you to do. Everything will be management. Because if God must bless you, he will bless you in line of your calling. You can work for the next 30 years. And one day, what God has called you to do can reward you what you work for 30 years. Do you see why our parents work and retire until today they are suffering? It's not because they are not working hard. They are working hard, but not in the area of predestination, not justification, not even talk of glorification. So I don't care whether your father is a member of House of Assembly, he can finish and return back broke until you understand his calling, because everything that God gives lasts in line of calling. If that woman was not part of the calling, she can't survive. So she can wake up one day and say, I'm tired. But the one that was in line of calling, she knows that this is unto death. And that is the reason why the first job of everyone is to understand what has God called me to do. But in line with that, you look at the volumes of the book, because you must come to do as it is written about you in the volumes of the book. And in that volumes of the book, what was written about you, when you can see that in which is written about you, then you begin to go through and endure it. The Bible says, as a good soldier, you must endure hardship. This is a minister conference, so I can't lie to you and say you won't suffer. If I tell you you will not suffer, I'm lying. I have never seen a minister that has not suffered. They don't exist. Anyone that is lying to you is a lie. Bishop Oyedepo can come and say, if you decree and it doesn't happen, you don't have faith. It's a lie, sir. We knew when you were decreeing, nothing was happening. We knew when you sleep under the bridge, nothing was happening. So what are you telling us? Did you just decree and things happen? No, it took many years. And let me tell you, when you look at our father's life, you will discover that it's a journey of like 50 years, 70 years. And you are just 35 years old and you are trying to. You have to know that let them give you the same time. People like Adeboye got born again when they were 50 years of age. It's a failure. You are not even 50 years, you're already born again. So we need to know that you have more advantage than him. If at 50 years of old, Adeboye became born again, what was he doing all through his life? At least you knew God now. What you need to do is remain within the crucible of justification, so that he can appear one day and say, this is my beloved son, upon whom I am well pleased. Because until that verdict is made upon you, you will suffer for so long. And let me tell you the truth. Don't think anybody just appeared. You just don't know what they were doing. Because the secret place is where men are made. And the problem with the secret place is that it's too secret for anyone to see. So somebody can be the one in this church playing keyboard or arranging the sound or by the media place, and the person is there for 10 years, nobody see the person. And one day when Jesus will now say, this is my beloved son, upon whom I am well pleased, hear ye him. And in that very moment, one day Papa can just say, come and just lead worship or lead praise or just give a 10-minute chat. And when the person speak, The server for the season is download. And now you wonder, where have this person been? The person has been there. He has been there at that side arranging the sound. And he never knew that it was part of the justification. Because that is how God works out. So you must be able to understand that when God calls you many more times, you don't look unto men, you look unto him. He said, follow me and I will make you. But in the process of the following, ask yourself, what is required of you to do in line with that? And let me tell you the truth. I have never seen anybody that God called, that God forsake. All of us are the one that forsake him. He doesn't forsake us. I know you may think that a season came upon your life and it looks as though God had disappointed you. That season was your season of promotion. Because when God wants to promote men, he permits adversities. He permits persecution. He permits trials. He permits hunger. He permits lack. How can God multiply the life of Job without permitting him to go through situations? God wanted to multiply the life of Job. And he felt this life that Job had. Now Job felt he was the wisest in the entire of the city. Let me bring sorrow and calamity so that I can promote him. Because every promotion that God does, he tried the calling again. And when they allowed those things happen to Job, after a while, the devil thought he has won. God multiplied the life of Job. And the Bible said everything that Job lost was returned back. It does not mean that they give birth to new. It means all the children that die resurrected. And all the cattle that die resurrected. It was not as if they give birth. That same person that died, that other person's name was Emmanuel. The other one was Joshua. The other one was Deborah. All of them came back to life. Because when God wants to restore, he does it better. And that is the reason why if God calls you, remain steadfast. Just keep going. In case you became Satan one day, they turn back again. Because Judas was the one that refused to return. Because I believe if Judas was done fulfilling the call, he can still return back. I knew if Judas did not kill himself, see, if he appear again and come into the upper room, there is a fire that can purge out Satan out of him. Because Satan was just looking for a vessel to occupy. But don't be the one that will host him. Let it once upon a time journey through the corridors of darkness, but cast him out the day you realize. There are days you wake up, Kai, what are you doing here? I don't know about you, but there are days you wake up, it seems as though there is darkness there. I wake up one day, strange atmosphere around me. I say, Satan has come. I say, I'm Philip Cephas. I belong to God. What are you doing here? I didn't call you. He said, well, I thought you want to talk with me like Eve talked in the Garden of Eden. I say, I'm not Eve. My name is Adam. Why didn't he go for Adam? He knew that Adam will say, cast out here. Don't entertain him for so long. You are sitting in your room and a thought begin to come. A thought. It was intimacy he was looking for. Don't talk. Did God say, get out of here? So that moment when he begin to reason with you, don't reason. Don't reason with him. Because anytime you permit the devil begin to reason with you, very soon you will begin to understand him. Because anybody you talk to, you understand. It's just a matter of time. I'm not understanding the guy because you're not talking to him. Talk. Just keep talking. Give him ear. Just give the ear. One day, he will say, Kai, God is not fair now. Why did you punish the devil? Now, at least you should have forgiven him. And before you know it, I want to be bad. Devil is innocent. How do you think men became Satan? How can men that bear the savor of light came one day and became darkness? How comes the light in men become darkness? A time came they begin to hear the whispers of the dragon. And because the gods are wise, if he can whisper enough, his tail can pull out 1/3 of suns in light. If you are not careful, if anybody hear the whispers of the dragon in this church, he can wake up one day and cause an havoc. Why? Because Satan is looking for leaders. He's still whispering. God demand intimacy for so long, nobody give him ear. But the day they hear a serpent, they hear and they begin to tell them, begin to discredit God. And anytime you utter, you listen to it, you are gone. As a minister, focus on the call and the caller. My time is fast spent. I have only 1 minute. I submit to you. At every point in your life, God will point you to himself. And if you lose focus of himself, you are dead. Never pay attention to the applause of men. Never pay attention to the celebration of men. Never pay attention to anything men say. In fact, I wake up one day, the Lord told me, Philip, don't take too serious what men said until you hear me. Do you know that when God begins to talk to you, everybody has something to tell you? I don't know about you, but where I was coming from, I was mentored by about close to, I'm live, I don't care, I was mentored by about close to 5 pivotal people. And I discovered each and every one of them have a purpose for me. The problem was not them. The problem was me. A time came, I asked myself, you, who are you? What do you even want? Did you even hear God? What did God tell you? And I realized I have never had God. And I knew that the time is going to come that if I did not hear God for myself, I will be confused. How were you called without hearing Him? We are all ministers here. Do you understand? I'm not talking to followers. I'm talking about, in the season where you don't know your calling, you follow. When you know your calling, there is one thing you do. You find a way to be able to serve a vision in line with your calling. So you can know whether you're supposed to be in choir or media or ushering or technical. Why? Because now you understand, because you can function proper in line with your calling. So there was somebody that was trying to keep me there in prayer department, and I knew I was not supposed to be there. Someone was supposed to keep me in media. I knew I would not survive there. So all the design I do was rubbish, and they say I'm not doing well. To them, I'm being disobedient. But me, I see myself with a burden. I'm pressing something, I'm still praying. And they said, be in choir. As I sang, I don't understand key. And I knew that the salvo upon my head was not for that. So you must be able to understand when God utter is to bring you to alignment to unleash your calling. And when you understand that, follow through that pathway. You can never be lost following God. If anybody is lost, check. It's like Judas, or it's like the time when Peter behold and lacked the savor. There is a texture in you that must be maintained. My last counsel as a bonus: never leave thinking the mercy of God should cover you. I understand the economy of the mercy of God, but when you are foolish enough to think that just because God is merciful, you can do anything you want to do and live anyhow, that is what is called crown. It will remain for so long. You see, the savor of the freshness of the utterances come from a gate in Zion. The Bible says, who shall ascend unto the hills of the Lord? There is a place for convergence where elders meet. Who shall stand upon the holy place? There is a criteria for a hallowed meeting where God gathers. So when God begins to distribute things for people that can bear the ordinances of nations, there is a place where they don't summon men. So in the days when they gather the sons of Jacob and they begin to cast out lot of inheritance, he said, Reuben, thou art the firstborn of my strength. At least you are the one that carry my excellency of strength. But as unstable as waters, you have gone into my couch and defiled it, and because of that you shall not excel. So you can come and appear within the council of Zion, but when you appear like everybody, they will look upon you and say, Kai, Joshua, you are a very anointed man of God. You have this, but because of this, you shall not excel. And it's not as if the utterances was wrong. They just say it because that was your day. And you just know, guilty. Because you are guilty, you are just quiet. But when you appear there with a savor of purity and a heart that has not touched vanity, there is nothing they can do but to elevate you. So in the days you find out that you don't have the backing of the immortals again, you live as mere men and perish like one of the priests. Check again. It means that your hand has been stained with blood and your heart has seen corruption. He said, thou art the anointed cherub. Why? Because I have said this. So you have been upon the gate in Zion, and I have put you in a coal of fire to purify you until iniquity and evil was found in you. Can you pray as a minister and say, oh God, let evil never be found in me? A day come when evil is be cloud in our heart, and in that day we become what we don't plan. One day can wake up and Philip Cephas can say God is not real. Philip Cephas can say he's a gay. Philip Cephas can wake up and say, Kai, I think smoking and drinking is nothing, sleeping around is nothing. I mean, it's nothing. I can marry 2 wives, I can marry 3 wives, nothing will happen. Aya, ke Lafia. There's a summoning in my spirit. There's a beckoning in my soul. There's a summoning in my spirit. There's a summoning in my soul. There's a beckoning in my spirit. There's a beckoning in my soul. There's a beckoning in my spirit. There's a summoning